AC's huge. Dude, do you want to hear about my Acro Tow Club drama?
Yeah, what's up?
So here's what's happening. The last time we went, which was like 3 or 4 weeks ago, a couple planes went by. And I think it was me because a nice plane got particularly close to me. I don't know what it is, twin engine Cessna or that one with the fucking parachute in it. But in any case, a plane gets particularly close to me as I'm on tow, right? So I'm like 2,000, 3,000 feet in the air, and a plane goes nearby. They see me, maybe they see the line, and they report us to the FAA. Now, the thing is, what we're doing is legal. We're not breaking any rules. We know
real
rules.
Quick before you can Kyle, can you switch to audio only? See if that keeps you in longer.
I think we might be good. I don't think it's going to
works.
matter. I think if it breaks, it's going to break, honestly.
Okay. Sorry to interrupt, Woody. Go ahead.
So we get reported to the FAA, and one of our members is an airline pilot and just good at talking to the FAA. It's harder than you'd guess. And he explains the rule. The FAA doesn't even know which set of rules governs ultralights because they're really not focused on us. They don't want to deal with fucking people hanging in lawn chairs and hammocks and shit. They want to deal with commercial airlines and FedEx and Delta and shit like that. So he teaches them the rules of ultralights. They say, we've confirmed that you're not in any trouble at all, and we think everything is cool. But just to double check, he makes sure that the Army Corps of Engineers is okay with us launching off of their beach. And I'm like, what? Why causing trouble?
Yeah.
The Army Corps of Engineers were walking like 10 feet across their beach on launch. If we're really careful, maybe we can not touch it at all. We have permission from the landowner, the guy who lives on this little tiny peninsula. He owns, if you picture a triangle, he owns like the inner triangle. But the very edge, the beach, is the Army Corps of Engineer. Sometimes we don't even touch the engineering land. Sometimes we just launch from his yard, and he loves us. Sometimes, maybe you run all the way to the beach before you get in the air. And now they're fussing at us. Now they worry that we have to get permission from them, and they want us to get $1 million insurance policy, which maybe we'll do, and name them as co-insured. I'm not an insurance expert.
This is so lame.
I feel like it's American land. I already own it. Why do I have to why are you making it so hard for me to use American land? And I'm not damaging it. I'm
Can
just
I ask you
walking
this?
across it.
Maybe I probably wasn't here for this part. What happens if you just keep going there and flying off?
That was my idea. I was like, what is the fine? $250? I'll pay it every weekend. I hope it comes with a BJ. I don't give a fuck about you. It'll just be a cost of doing business. But the club had a better concern, I thought, which was like, if we do this knowingly in violation, what happens if something goes wrong? Like someone gets hurt, or then you could be like, it's an illegal.
But it would
activity.
only matter if that would only come to play if you literally crashed while taking off from the beach into someone and hurt them. Man, that's an odd.
I think here's the scenario that I would imagine. Like everyone in the club is so trusted, right? They're not going to sue me. Yeah. Put that to the test when we're talking about their next of kin, right? When some single mom loses her breadwinner and now she's not going to sue the rest of the club, hoping to make good on it.
Weird. Yeah. Some sort of.
And
I see your point.
What if it's an activity that's not approved? So there's two ways this could go. We could either get approval from the Army Corps of Engineer, which would be nice, or we could go to a different lake. The other lake is 20 minutes farther from me, but it's better. And the town nearby is better. I don't recall, but it's in Tennessee.
Oh.
Yeah, so it's not very close to Hartwell. But the lake, the launch spot looks a little better. It's a little bigger. And I like that. I think Knoxville is nearby. So that gives us real facilities, perhaps a better hospital, shit like that.
I think the Army Corps of Engineers will just say, yeah. They would only be concerned if you're going to be around their dam and any of that infrastructure. Generally speaking, I don't think they give a shit about the beach. Boaters are doing crazy shit there all the time. They don't care.
That's totally true. I feel like what we're doing to the Army Corps of Engineer is not any different than water skiers. Or
when you ask permission, make it. When you ask permission, make it. It's a boat thing, right? You're.
Yeah.
Are you talking? You're talking about launching from his yard, or when you do the boat stuff?
The boat stuff, yeah.
Oh, well then just word it to them like it's an advanced fucking what do those call those things you pull behind a boat, that the fucking bullshit float? Whatever you call
the tube
those.
thing, the toboggans, I think they might be called.
Yeah, make it sound like advanced tubing. Like,
yeah, right.
Fucking just be vague.
Yeah, we just do what everyone else does. We sort of attach a line to the back of the boat and we tow ourselves around. It's a blast, right? He doesn't need to know that line is fucking 6,000 feet long.
I would bet money they'll say yes. Like that's
I
what
hope
people
so.
do on the lake.
I feel like they'll say no, just because. What's their incentive for saying yes? Hey, can we have permission to do a thing? No.
I would say this exactly. I would say, hey, I've had this issue with these other guys, and they said I should have permission from you for some reason before I do it. We like to, ride around on our boat, and we pull each other around on rafts, on sea-doos, and sometimes we even throw a parachute on. And they thought maybe you'd have an issue with some of that stuff. I would admit that.
I love
so it
that.
sounds like 90% of the time we're out there on like good keyboards, and then occasionally we get out a parachute. We're wild.
He's picturing us 15 feet in the air.
Yeah, I would say that.
I like that. We should have had you.
Be honest, but don't give away anything you don't need to.
Right. To be honest, we'll have to grab a tube, but we can make that happen. We never tow tubes.
You know what I was thinking? And maybe it's just a stupid idea. Is there any way to combine the paramotor with a motorcycle? Because in my head, I was like, obviously, if you were riding the bike and operating the whole thing, it would pull you off the bike and the bike would be left behind because you can't hold on to the bike tightly enough. But if there was some sort of apparatus to balance that bike underneath you, maybe you could use a dirt bike and make that your sole source of power, and you could do little hops. Like you get enough speed, you could get enough speed on your bike to like fly for a little while, and then
a little altitude,
land,
and then it would slow down, and you.
Yeah,
that sounds like a recipe for injury. I think
it sounds like a way to decapitate yourself or something.
Right?
Oh, well, this is just cheating.
He's tethered to the ground. That's the lame part.
He's
untethered and go somewhere.
I wonder if that's so that you can park and like mount and dismount, or if it has if they haven't figured out the gyroscopic nonsense. Yeah, I guarantee that's so they can get on and off. They got
Quads
headlights on it already.
Well. Yeah,
I mean that
thing looks neat.
I want to see a video.
How high does it go?
Dude,
does it rely on that ground effect?
So sometimes I see technology, and I'm not sure if I'm being trolled by some guy who's good at like After Effects or something, and I saw a video of some quote unquote firefighters in Dubai with jetpacks on, like the Rocketeer. And I was embarrassed to send it to anyone because I thought it was like that baby giraffe video that we sent to Wings. I was like, am I stupid and gullible for thinking that there are jetpack wearing firefighters in Dubai, or is that just the future? Like I don't know.
Have you seen the jetpack wearing search and rescue people?
That seems dangerous.
I go both ways because jetpacks don't take you very far, very long, right? It's a trouble. On the other hand, someone broke a leg, like at the top of the ski slope. It would take a long time to hike up that slope or even to take the lift up. If someone's not there, you can jetpack up a mountain in like 90 seconds. It is a quick way to do a small.
Could you lift someone though? Like,
I think the idea is they get
provide
there,
aid.
Their first aid.
Oh,
You can bring your slings and your tourniquets and your morphine.
that makes more
Yeah,
sense.
you could. I've seen them talk about it a lot for saving people on mountains, and with as much like mountaineering videos as I've watched lately, that's a thing that happens a lot. Although, God, you would think that most of the people who get into those situations are so fucking dumb. Like they make a massive mistake, and that's why they're in the situation.
A series of them.
Yeah. Usually, that's not just one thing. It wouldn't be so bad if you hadn't left your phone at home, but you also let your water expire or something, or like the plastic got brittle,
and you got
so
lost,
brittle that you can't.
Right.
Like one thing after another.
Your phone was your GPS, and you don't have a paper map, and you this and you that, and you're fucked in 6 ways, and because you were a little fatigued, you made a navigation mistake that you wouldn't have otherwise made. It cascading mistakes is a thing.
And people lose their they lose their lives, they lose their family members' lives. Like I really like those stories because I genuinely think that maybe I'm learning something by watching them, and I'll be less likely to get myself in a stupid scenario like that.
You're roboting out right now, Kyle. But I'm not some like
an example.
I'm not a total first responder cocksucker. Like, and I mean that by like the guys who fillet them just for being first responders. But I do like them a little bit. I am one of like mountaineering first responders are just
I
don't know, like semi-heroes. Kyle thinks he's telling a story.
He thinks he's telling us a story.
When that motorcycle guy in my group ran off the cliff last night, that was fucking amazing to see those guys come, and they had all their winches and they like secure the motorcycle and they put the guy in that like sled and pulled him up the hill. Extremely competent. The people in my group could barely get up and down the hill. It was so steep, and these guys were like billy goats, just walking up and down it like it was flat. I was very impressed.
People remake tanks. They'll buy tanks from Canada, import them, tanks and artillery pieces, because it's very legal to have a tank or an artillery piece in Canada. That's one of the things they miss. Don't tell Trudeau. And they'll import them from there, and then they'll rearm them here if they have the right licensing. It doesn't take too much licensing, but you can have a working, running, shooting tank perfectly legally.
Canada has tanks?
I think my understanding is there's a lot of World War II pieces that were imported into Canada and are still civilian, legal to own, because not a lot of people own tanks. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's a niche community. It's not something you really need to legislate about normally. But yeah, you can get a tank. The artillery piece. That Bofors gun I shot's for sale. You can get anything. Anti-aircraft. You can get anything you want if you have the money.
What could you ever use the Bofors? Or I guess you could just blow stuff up with it. That would be fun.
I mean, it's an anti-aircraft gun. If you ever had some guys flying at you wanted to get rid of, you got yourself a 40 millimeter anti-aircraft gun.
You have a couple October 7th guys flying towards you. You just shred them up.
Whatever.
That's what Woody fears in his flying chair. The Bofors.
The Bofors. The mounted gun emplacement.
Could Woody take down a Hamas on a paraglider in his paraglider? Do they have like evasive maneuvers?
He does that.
I bet he could. Woody's been doing it longer than ISIS, and he would have the wherewithal up there to get close enough, because he's doing like loop-de-loops and tricks up there high in the sky.
Wait, what?
Yeah, he does like full loops, and we'll ask him about it, and he's like, well, I'm taking it safe. I only do that at like 4,000, 5,000 feet, so that I have plenty of time to correct if I start losing altitude. And it's that's such a wild hobby.
It's not like, he did that. Like he did training where your chute fails, and he did something where like you start with a bad chute and have to cut your chute away and open a new chute, or you hit the water. Like he's practiced. He's crashed a couple of times. His legs put together with screws and shit, dude.
Wow.
Yeah.
I don't think he's crashed in a while, but like once every 18 months or so, he'll be on the show and be like, you guys probably haven't heard, another member of the paramotor community has passed away. He was fucking around over Lake Erie, and now he's at the bottom of it.
Someone shot him. Someone shot him down. They thought it was a UFO. There's this one doofus in the paramotor community, and you gotta keep in mind that you got a giant fan in a backpack behind you, and it's like a propeller from a World War II plane. It's serious business back there on your.
It looks like a Da Vinci drawing of a flying machine. It's like,
wait, is he sitting down or is he standing up?
He has to run to get it going.
The fan is strapped to his back.
You have to be fit to do it. The whole thing weighs like 60 or 75 pounds, and then he's dragging the. So that
makes it funnier.
Totally. There's a guy in their community who like Woody doesn't like, and the guy was working on his paramotor, and he had it running but not strapped to him, and he bent over and stuck the top of his head into the prop of his own paramotor, and it chopped the top of his skull off and gave him a flat top. Gave him a permanent
About
fucking,
that.
gave him a permanent fucking flat top.
Oh my god.
Yeah, he's a hat man now.
He's a
That's crazy.
dude. He's a hat man for life.
That's what happened to that guy Tim Pool. That's why he wears that
hilarious.
thing.
Yeah, he's got a
Yeah.
big dent in his
He,
head.
he leans too far forward and gets chopped
No.
up.
No, I bet Woody could run circles around anybody in that goddamn paramotor. He can do all sorts of acrobatic loop-de-loop shit. He does these barrel rolls like end over end, upside down, spinning like thousands of feet up. Like it doesn't look fun to me at all.
Oh, it looks hellish and scary, dude.
I would
Every
get a-
time he does that, Jackie has like a wife of a World War I soldier moment where he's like, "I'm going out adventuring," and then like she's just like, "I hope he comes back. He's our support system here."
She's like looking at the clock on the wall. It's getting late. He's still up there.
Is he in Israel right now training Mossad or the IDF?
Oh, come on now! Don't blow his cover. Don't blow his cover.
Sorry.
He's deep cover. He's in a black cell right now. You can't be talking about. What did I say his code name was? The Nightwing. Yeah.
Yeah,
the
codename Nightwing.
Yeah, because I'm always saying he'd make like a good half-ass superhero if he just had a gun and he flew around and fought crime up there. Just
If there was a type of aerial assault that I, at my level of shooting skill, could be an effective threat against, it would be a paramotorist.
oh
Like
yeah,
you have so much time to be like, "What's that? Oh, we're gonna have to give it another 15 minutes." Oh, it's a guy with a fan. How queer. Huh. Okay. Well,
Yeah, it'd be
let's shoot
fun
him.
too. Like you wouldn't be all like panicked, like, "Oh no, there's the enemy." It'd be like, "Oh, fun.
Yeah.
Get to shoot at this guy like a fair."
you ever
Yeah,
see?
it's gonna explode when it hits the ground. It's gonna be like a thump and a guy going like, "Bark." Like that.
did you ever
that's
see
all
the
that's gonna
Holyfield fight where the asshole landed in the stadium on a paramotor and like hit
Yeah.
the ring?
Yeah.
happen?
My dad was at that fight.
Yeah. Really?
Dude,
Yeah,
the best part is they start beating his ass. like it's not like, they don't just escort him out of the building. They start whooping his ass because he delayed the fight and like they got all cold again and like the fight wasn't as good.
Oh my
after.
God! I'm just now putting the pieces together that this is what Mo and Homer were doing. In
Yeah.
that
Oh,
episode
you didn't
where-
know that?
I
Oh,
never thought about.
Taylor.
Oh, I watched The Simpsons far too much to miss such a culture.
Yeah.
Damn.
What's Mo's last name?
Sislak.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he's Polish, right?
It's hard to get one over on you, Taylor. You got to ask you something like how much does a skeleton weigh or something like that. You got to come at you sideways.
Dude, roll the tape back. I said 35 pounds, Zach. And that's pretty close.
You're like way over on the way to that skeleton. I'm not giving you that point.
That's true. Sometimes you stump me.
I think about you whenever I talk to my dad. He's like, if we talk about you, he's like, he's still flying that thing, because he's always had just a little bit of interest in those things since we were hunting one time. Someone flew one over us and we were waving, so they were like doing tricks above us, flying back and forth, sort of putting on a show for us. And so after doing like quick research, they're like $10,000 or $12,000, and we were looking at the trikes. I don't think we knew the other kind existed. And he was borderline buying one of those things back in the day. He's like, yeah, we could just build a runway right here in the field.
You could.
I had the same idea. I was really tempted to buy one at one point because when I was living not in central London, I was living like out in the countryside. Bro, like, yeah, there's fields everywhere. Just fly wherever you want, right?
I know like 6 van lifers who have a paramotor. They just drive around and fly into cool places. My Acro Club, the one where we launch in Lake Hartwell, think we're getting insurance like this week or next week. And maybe 2 weeks from now, the club is back up and running. So,
Oh, good.
yeah.
I didn't know that was a holdup or of any kind.
In brief, the National Army Corps, or whoever runs the
Army Corps of Engineers.
Thank you. That's what it is. The Army Corps of Engineers shut us down because they operate the lake we worked out of. And once we assured them we weren't commercial, and they just said, we'll get some insurance, which turned out to be tricky. And we're almost done.
Did they voice the issue, or did you go to them, ask for permission, and then they said no?
A random pilot reported us as if we had done something wrong. Like, these guys are flying over the lake. And we're like, yeah, FAA Part 103 regulates. The FAA came back and said they're breaking no rules, but the Army Corps of Engineer said, like, you can fly around. The flying part's not the problem. It's the 7 feet we run on the grass. That's the part they're worried about.
Yeah.
Before we launch.
There's nobody to talk about that with either. Like if it was something else, you could go to like a little politician there, and those people are so friendly. They love having someone come in their office and have a problem that they can actually solve. If you go talk to a small town mayor, because you can get right in there. What's he doing? They'll usually fix some shit like that. But with the Army Corps of Engineers, yeah, whenever I was going to do something silly, like I had a pretty good relationship with the sheriff in like both places, because we were always blowing shit up and getting calls, and their deputies are having to come out. So it was good to talk to those people beforehand. But with the Army Corps of Engineers, that's the fucking, I don't know exactly what that is, but I think it's a federal Army like side quest that they're on over there to maintain that and secure that dam over at Lake Hartwell and the lake that supports it, all that stuff. I'll tell you another sound.
Bowling.
I saw an awful video this weekend. No jokes aside, there was a helicopter parked, and you're looking at it sort of a 3/4 angle. It's on the ground, but rotors are spinning. Rear and front. What do you call that thing in the back? It's the rear rotor, right? You call it a rotor?
Tail rotor, I think.
Tail rotor. Thanks. And there's a lot of people. There's maybe 5 men there standing around the chopper. 3 of them in a group, kind of looking at it. I don't know what's going on. But then this one guy is going to run around behind the helicopter, and he's at a brisk jog. And no one can stop him because the helicopter's so loud. And he runs right into the tail rotor, and it goes, Vroom! It sounded like that. It hit him like 8 times as fast as you can imagine. Vroom! And he just falls. And the video quality isn't good enough to see exactly how bad he was mutilated, but he just falls, and nobody even goes to help. They just all put their hands on their heads and look away. Because he's done. Because he's done. He like ran face first into the tail rotor.
Yeah, like just a lapse in judgment. Like he
didn't know it was there.
You can't see it because it's spinning so fast, right?
Yeah.
Oh, you would think you would hear the very loud noise of a helicopter going.
No, but it's the top one's going.
But he assumed it was the top one making the noise.
The like little back one.
Okay. I've never been that close to a helicopter. I assumed it'd
You've
be
never
making
been in
like
a helicopter?
Like
it's a good time.
It's super noisy.
Yeah, you
like a helicopter once, like a shuttle at Disney World when I was a kid. And that was
really? Wait! You took a helicopter at Disney World?
I think it was in Florida. I don't remember if it was Disney World. I was in a helicopter for some reason. No, I didn't. It definitely wasn't Disney World because I didn't go there until I was like 12. I was like 6 or 7. And I was
There's a temporary flight restriction over Disney World that's lasted like 40 years.
Just
that I don't know why they call it a temporary flight restriction, but you can't fly over it.
Interesting.
Makes sense.
Safety concerns, perhaps. You wouldn't
roller coasters or something.
It's
the way you guys are saying it, you're making it seem like it's very easy to walk into the tail rotor of a helicopter, and I don't believe that. Like, there's no way it's.
So it is invisible because it's spinning. Like invisible like a fan. And the audio cue that you're hoping to pick up on. Well, the whole area is so noisy and windy. And you're kind of in a hurry to leave the area, right? You're trying to get away from the noise and the wind and the top thing. And I didn't walk into the back of it in any of my helicopter flights.
No.
I can imagine that somebody would.
That's scary.
People are stupid. There are some people walking around who are just barely able to do that, and asking more of them than that is a bridge too far, which is one of my favorite expressions. I think that a bridge too far comes from maybe D-Day during the Allied invasion. I think they dropped paratroopers in to take these bridges, and they went a bridge too far, I suppose, was the expression, and dangerous. Lost a lot of men. Yeah, we pushed just a little bit ahead of our means.
I buy that.
I had a fan land in my front yard with his helicopter and then take me to lunch, and he also spent a lot of time teaching me how the helicopter works. Some people aren't smart enough to know how helicopters work. I'm just saying. Are you one of them? Or it's a good chance, that maybe I'm one of them.
Yeah.
How does a turbine engine work exactly? Like it's an engine that only works. You can't start it unless the engine's already started. This baffles me. Like you can't light it. It has to already be lit, and then it keeps going perpetually. How does it turn off? Turbine engines that don't make any sense to me. I don't get it. And
There's
then
a gift somewhere.
And then he says, Woody, it's like a Bunsen burner. Oh, sure. Like, okay.
Say no more.
I don't understand
I
how a
had
Bunsen
you at
burner is about
Bunsen.
to make us fly.
So you have it hooked up to there's a propane gas flame, like a flamethrower that keeps it stoked.
I don't know.
I don't know how a turbine engine works either. But I know that helicopters are fucking cool. I've been in a hot air balloon. I did that as a kid. We went to Pigeon Forge or Gatlinburg on one of those cheesy vacations and went on a ride. And I went. I've done multiple helicopters. I've done the big helicopters and the little ones. The Robinson 22s and 44s, I think, is what they are. The 22 is famous for being the world's most dangerous helicopter, the one responsible for the most deaths and traumatic injuries.
Cool.
In part because it is a dangerous helicopter, but mostly because it is the most affordable, reliable helicopter in that genre. It's like if, I don't know, the Toyota Camry had the most deaths in it. It's like, Jesus, everybody has one, of course. Yeah. I bet most drownings happen at pools.
It's really hard to fly. Do you know anything about it? So, like, if I gave you an Apache, if I gave you, Kyle, an Apache, I think by this afternoon, you could be flying.
I could get some justice, finally.
and the reason is it, like, self-stabilizes. It's almost like a drone, you know? You push it forward to go forward, whatever, and it has advanced electronics that handle a lot of shit for you. If you know how to fly an Apache, you don't know how to fly a Robinson. But the inverse or the converse is not true. If you know how to fly a Robinson, you can fly fucking anything because that doesn't help you at all. It is constantly trying to tip over and slide into the ground. And you're there like just balancing a quarter on top of a
I like that though.
Pencil dot the whole time, just trying to keep it up because it always wants to fall and crash to the ground. So that's partly why they're so dangerous.
It's always pulling in that one direct. It's always pulling in that one direction and trying to tilt, right? So you've kind of got that as your zero, I would imagine, and an experienced pilot just lives in that zone perpetually, which you just feel comfortable with after a while, I suppose. But both of the pilots I've had were excellent, I felt, as far as I'm able to judge a pilot based on their resume and just how they handled themselves and the things they were able to do with the helicopters. My 22 pilot was able to get us, I'm going to call it 30 feet off the ground, traveling as fast. He matched speed perfectly with the pigs I was shooting, and he flew sideways with my door as the leading edge. So I'm one ass cheek on my seat leaned out, and I'm the leading edge of this of our flight path. It was incredible. And then the 44 pilot, I mean, I let him dangle me from a goddamn rope. So I trusted him clearly. But the other guy that was there that day, because these are completely separate like shoots, the 44 pilot I had, it was that orange helicopter. He was great. There was a 22 there that day too, though, with a young pilot in his 20s. And we asked him how many hours he said. You know what his answer was? Enough. The other guy was from Nam. The other guy was an old white guy, gray hair and a beard, like short white hair.
I trust him.
And from Nam, he had flown a fucking helicopter. The other guy's answer, enough. He nearly went down. He nearly went down that day. Yeah. At one point, he was hovering over an explosive that was on fire and could go off any second. And that burst of hot air under his helicopter would have dropped him. The air's thinner.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
He can't get the lift now. He would have dropped. It would have been like if you were to release a huge amount of bubbles underneath a boat.
Yeah.
Right.
In paragliding, it lifts you because it's rising air. And there was like this big controversy during a world championships. A guy was bombing out, which means that he was about to end his flight and not do well. And he found farmers burning their field. So he goes to this burning field and starts rising super fast, dangerous. His wings collapsing. The air is turbulent. It's a total fucking mess. It doesn't fly anymore. And he's still gaining altitude. The embers start burning holes in his wing, and he is still gaining altitude.
Oh, no.
He eventually did really well. Like, he finished top 5 in this world championship on his fucking wing with holes all over it. It was ratted and destroyed. He never flew it again, but it extended his flight.
Yeah.
Could have died.
No, those are really fun to fly in. I would, if I was going to learn to fly a thing, it seems like, first of all, it seems like the stupidest thing to do. However,
It's the worst financial decision you'll ever make.
It's the best if you're getting into an aircraft. I think a 22, right? Like if you're going to buy a Robinson, if you were going to get into flying around and you wanted an aircraft, like a thing, you could buy I bet a Robinson 22 is fairly affordable, and it's the maintenance, right? Like, don't you have to do? Is it an hour ratio 1-to-1?
I've heard that. I imagine it varies by aircraft, right? Like,
yeah,
these military ones are like that.
But yeah, if I were going to do another trip like that,
that's why they had to defund the libraries.
We rock.
Yeah.
There would be activities planned. B, like we'd want to be able to live like do some of it. And C, you'd want to do it on fucking Lake Hartwell, right? So that like Woody has access to his flying contraptions and the lake and his and that boat that we could all use. I'm sure he wouldn't mind. And all of his friends who are partial owners, they won't mind. They're cool with us. They know us.
Love it,
Taylor,
actually.
we're essentially part owners of that boat too.
That's how I see myself.
That's how I see myself. I wouldn't say I'm the captain per se.
I would.
Dude, that boat that we trust our life to, that is the life-saving device in case something goes wrong, is so shitty. We spend 15 minutes trying to get it to run on all the cylinders at the start of every weekend.
Woody, fix it.
Do what now?
Fix it.
It's not near me.
Says the third.
I know, but
mate.
there's like,
Yeah, this is the third mate.
look, if I was, I'm gonna tell you this. If I was second,
That was the
mate,
brig operator.
So if I'm correct, this is the boat that y'all tow each other out over the lake with your parachutes on and like do tricks and shit over the lake. So if you fall in the water, but that's good and bad because you fell in the water. Good, it didn't hurt, but now you might be
Now
drowning
you
in the
need
water.
a boat to save you. Yeah.
Yeah, and so this is the rescue boat as much as it is the like tugboat to have the fun.
Perfect.
I mean, there's like 10 of y'all in on this boat, right? Like a new motor could cost dozens of dollars each.
Yeah, I know. I'm the only one who's like happy to. Every year I'm like, let's get new line, let's get new this, let's get the boat fixed, and everyone else is like, nah. I think we can get another year out of it.
Can I tell you what you should do?
Are you gonna tell me to pay for it all?
There should be fees to be part of this boat club y'all are in.
Yeah,
And
you
they
gotta
should
have
be
dues.
tiny dues every 6 months. That should cover the motor then, right?
It should, yeah, but like
Some guys aren't contributing, maybe.
they'll be like, if the fee's $100, I'm in. If it's $250, just remove me from the club. And we're like, no, we're really starving for people, and that's the situation.
Call them on their bluff and say,
What
you're
are you?
banned from the sea.
What are you doing? Falling into bodies of water?
So I fly a paraglider, which is kind of
Okay.
like a parachute, but it flies better. And we're into acrobatic. Like we do stunts on it. We do like somersaults and get upside down and do helicopters and all sorts of weird shit. So when you learn new things, when you push your limits, it's best to do that over water instead of land. If a lot of times you'll be in this situation where you just kind of spin, and your descent rate's not that bad. If you hit water, you'll be okay. If you hit ground, you probably won't. Or if you land under a parachute, you would think that with a parachute, you're fine, that your troubles are over. You're really just swapping problems. It's usually an upgrade, right? You know, you threw your chute because you were in a really bad spot, but now you're just in a different, not very good spot. You're in an uncontrolled parachute landing somewhere. And that could be into a power line, into a tree, which usually works out well, but it's not cool. Or water with a rescue boat. That's your best choice. So when we push our limits, we do it over the lake.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's a cool thing. I love your whole plan there, but man, it sucks though, right? Like on one hand, you don't want the club to be smaller because it's not like you got a giant group, but on the other, it's like, hey, the whole point of the club is that we keep this boat like up to. I'm not asking for like a P. Diddy style shrimping yacht. Like I just want the rescue boat to like fire up and run all six, you know, like, come on. That would be a problem for me. I think I'd worry about my safety. People, we're counting on you, Woody. We need you here.
We need you.
And Jackie, I mean, to a lesser extent, Woody, you and Jackie were going to start taking the bikes out on the road. Did that happen yet? Or is that on
Twice? Yeah.
All right. So to catch everyone up, Woody's been motorcycling forever. He's been super into the hobby over the last year, and he has wrangled his wife on into the hobby as well, getting her a motorcycle, training her up on it. They've mostly stayed inside the nest in their little community, but now she's taken to the open road, despite the fact that we had a little bit of a rough start in getting her license. And did she break her collarbone?
No, the bone didn't break, but the tendons around it did, and there was some deformation and surgical repair.
Yeah, a little surgical repair, just getting the license. So now we're on the open road together. How's that going?
A little bit of good, a little bit of bad. So on the upside, she's doing great. She's like, if you just watch her drive, aside from the fact that she's going 10 miles an hour under the speed limit, she looks competent. She's making her turns. There's never been a close call. What's not going well is she feels super nervous, incredibly nervous. She's gripping the handlebars. We have comms, so I'm like, don't forget to loosen up, stay loose, don't stress. Everything's fine. This is a straight country road. There's nothing to worry about. Just relax. And she's not relaxing. She even was like, at what point do I start liking this? And
that's a good wife right there. Oh no.
Yeah, so I'm trying to find this balance of like not pushing her outside of her comfort zone, but not like straight out laying the red carpet to Quittsville either.
Yeah.
So when the weather's just right, which has happened twice in the last week, I'm like, let's go out. And I take her on a drive. I plan it in advance, places where, for example, you can all imagine a country road with trees on either side and turns. And I don't want to make a left onto that where it has to go well, right? If she, for example, stalls it or drops it, that a bad thing could happen. No. All the turns need to happen at red lights where, it's protected. Like there are people just zipping through, going after her and such. So I plan out routes like that. So everything's a little low pressure and it's been going great. She just isn't liking it.
Well,
that's very important.
I'm sure by
no, I don't stress that.
no, I don't really
What's
give a
important
fuck.
is that I like it.
You think we're this is type 3 fun, baby?
It's a nice to have, not a need.
You're gonna
to
look
have.
back on this later, even though you hate it now, and you're gonna be glad you did this for me.
Yeah.
Hey, if she got back on after an early injury, she's in.
She's definitely afraid of him.
Back on. That's crazy. When I was at the car dealership, every time we would hire a new guy, they would immediately buy a motorcycle because you didn't make enough money to immediately buy a supercar. But you go out and buy a $5,000 or $10,000 way too fast for beginner motorcycle. And we had one guy, Nick, that second week gets a check. I'm getting me a motorcycle. And he had never ridden a motorcycle, had no motorcycle license. But the way that the order of operations works in Georgia and in a lot of states is like, you don't have to have a motorcycle license to buy a motorcycle because you need a motorcycle to get your motorcycle's license to take the test. And so if you don't borrow one, it's a difficult thing.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to have a motorcycle's license to get a loan for a motorcycle. And you don't have to have insurance on a motorcycle to get a loan for a motorcycle without a motorcycle's license. So you can imagine that this could very quickly become problematic. And so Nick took delivery with no money down on some brand new motorcycle that he didn't even know how to do. And they brought it to the dealership for him. And so I hear him outside, like idling this thing around the end of the day. So they're just going to pull it in the shop, because he doesn't know how to drive it home. And they screech, bang, pow. And all of a sudden, they say don't ever sit on a running motorcycle without a helmet. This is why, because in a car, if you let go of everything, the car will slowly roll into whatever's in front of it if it's automatic transmission, or it'll stall if it's a manual. In a motorcycle, if you let go of everything, it will launch you into whatever is in front of you. And that happened to be a Porsche Panamera. And he broke the rear bulbous station wagon glass with his face. And I walked out. I was on the phone trying to do a deal, and I said, I'm going to have to call you back. And I walked out back, and the blood, he was looking down, and the blood was just dripping from his face. And so everybody's freaking out. The only guy who knew how to ride a motorcycle in the circumstance was mad at himself for letting him sit on his own motorcycle. And I took him to the emergency room. And it's one of those times where you get seen immediately in the emergency room, which is fun. And there's all these little kids with broken arms, and we are well in there. And 2 emergency room doctors came in, saw him, and said, nope, I am not stitching that up. And so the third guy, who's like the stitch superstar, he stitched on Nick for 2 or 3 hours. It was 80, 90 facial stitches, and they're pulling pieces of glass out. They pull out some of his forehead, and an ant walks out. I'm like, dude, you had a good story today. But that ant had a great story.
Yeah.
And, I was
All right,
just minding my own business.
That's insane.
So what did you do with the bike after that? Did you ever take it to the open road?
Well, since he didn't have insurance, it couldn't really get totaled, but it was proper mangled. And so he ended up like he never got his motorcycle license because he was at that point terrified from
Probably
it.
for the best. Yeah.
I bet.
And so it was such a nightmare. So he ends up selling it to our body shop guy who fixed it for a lot less than it should have taken. And he owned it, but no. And of course he's just started working here, and we didn't have like health insurance or benefits or anything like that. So he's racked up quite a bill in an emergent situation. And so we have to go to the financial counselor's office before we leave because he's told him he doesn't have insurance. So we had to self-pay, and they gave us an $8,000 bill for Nick's face. And I'm like, what if we paid it now? And they're like, they were not expecting that and they came down like to $2,000. And I'm like, I don't know, man, 2,000's a lot. I feel like we could do 500. And they're like, oh no, we can't do 500. They did $800. They took 90% off of his bill if we paid right there. And so we went to the Waffle House next door and celebrated, and he was all stitched up and bandaged up. And but no, he never got back on a motorcycle again.
Like that.
I want to know, Ed, will you ever go so far down the automobile and mode of transportation pipeline that you're flying paramotors, Woody style?
No.
Smart man.
I'm going to stay down here where I can still fall off it and live. But it is a very fascinating hobby that you've got, Woody.
A friend of mine is still in the hospital right now. He his wing collapsed, and there's a thing you can do. Press the speed bar. It increases your risk, but you go a little bit faster. Okay. And if you're high enough, then it's not that dangerous. Like your wing might collapse, but you have a minute or two to either sort it out or throw a reserve parachute. I'm not saying it's no danger, but you can sort it out. But if you do that at 100 feet, then you don't get any second chances. And that was his situation. And the pictures of him in the hospital, dude, it's hilarious because his friend group, they all tease each other and razz each other constantly. So he's in the hospital with the neck brace on, the blood on his face. He's got the air tube up his nose, his arms in some sort of cast, and his friends are taking selfies with him, giant shit-eating grins. It's pretty funny.
I think that's your responsibility as a friend of somebody with a dangerous hobby. I think it's like, look what caught him.
Yeah,
he fall down the stairs. He brought this on himself. I mean,
that's true. It's funny that you pick fall down the stairs as like a totally unavoidable thing that happens to every adult.
It happens to everyone a couple times a month.
Ed doesn't know. Kyle falls down his stairs constantly. He's 37.
Is that code word for his abusive relationship, or is he actually falling down a flight of stairs?
Dude, name a bigger rivalry than Kyle and doorknobs. just constant.
No, it's not a euphemism. He has.
I like to go down in a
very
cool
flexible
way.
joints.
No.
No?
Why would it be?
I don't know. I thought maybe your like gigantic toes or something got caught on the steps as you went up. But why are you on? Oh, I'm the idiot, right? I'm the idiot.
God, you're extra big. Is that why you fall
right now? Flex on you. Take that.
No, it's because I've talked about it before. It's because I go down them in a very I hit the very edge and sort of slide down and do this like fun sort of like slide down the stairs instead of walking down the stairs like a normal person. So I'm bringing it on myself. And then the other time it was just like dark and I couldn't see the stair. I thought there was another stair and there wasn't, or vice versa. Like I thought I was at the landing and there was another stair. And anyway, my foot just reached out and didn't have anything. And I just fell into the night.
Wait, is this pigeon-toed slide like your normal way to address a stair, or is just sometimes the mood takes you to extreme stairs?
Sometimes I'm just having fun. I like to, I'm a pretty happy guy, pretty go lucky. So I hop, skip, and jump up and down the stairs like a little child. I like that. I like to keep that childishness in my life, keep me young, keep me vibrant.
My
Me
feet
loving
hurt
each
right
day.
now from excessive jump roping, so I
See,
can't.
look at this. This guy's over here doing hopscotch. Come on.
What qualifies as excessive in the jump roping activity?
Well, when your feet hurt and you have to take ibuprofen to combat the limp, there you are.
How many did you do?
I was hoping to avoid this because it's not enough to warrant this kind of injury.
428.
Less than 10 minutes. Yeah.
You can lie online, Woody.
I rarely.
4 hours. 4 hours.
No, I think part of the problem is I do it in weightlifting shoes instead of something a little more bouncy, like you want to wear, because it's part of my routine.
That might be one of those exercises you're supposed to do barefoot, right?
Not the way I do it.
No?
That would
You'll
hurt even
fuck
more.
yourself up. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
I don't know. Like so they say, squatting barefoot is like a lot of people
squat
do
barefoot.
that.
I've heard that, but you never hit your
Indian
feet.
jump ropers.
Yeah, we're all woefully unequipped to critique Woody's jump roping. I can't remember the last time I jumped rope.
I'm not a big fan of it. I don't like jumping rope. Never have. I don't like any of the calisthenics, really. I hated all that shit we would do in jiu-jitsu when we do like the monkey crawls and shrimps and fucking crab walks. Oh my God. It's like, I'm paying for this. Let's get to work.
Oh, bear crawls?
There's no, if I'm paying for 2 hours and the first hour of it is gym. Like get the fuck out of here. Teach me something.
I used to like that stuff a little bit. You know what it was? I had a guy I trained with whose t-shirt said my warm-up is harder than your workout. And I took a lot of pride in that. So
what an asshole.
He's just always wearing a disgusting t-shirt. He can't wear his
the concept inspired me. A friend of mine just went on a big paramotor flight. It was pretty cool. He went from Mexico to Canada. It took 8 days.
Holy shit. How many, do you know how many stops?
I can look it up. He posted it on Facebook, and I think I can find it quickly. But
in my head, you do like 70 miles at a time on those.
Less. I would say the range, if there's no wind, let me think about this, 90 miles. So you might want to plan for like 60 so that you don't find yourself landing without fuel.
Oh, okay. Neat.
But if you have a good tailwind or something.
Follow the highway? How do you navigate?
I use an
all sorts of
iPhone.
tech.
But these guys were by the Colorado mountains, and so they might not always have signal like that.
Yeah, right.
And
I bet he's got one of those fancy GPS watches like you have.
Yeah, actually.
Oh, you got a rescue watch? 1, 2,
3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Yeah, I mean he's up
8,
there in the
9,
clouds
10,
occasionally.
11, 12, 13,
One of the biggest fears for what he does is getting
stops.
cloud suck, where there's this big updraft of unevenly temperate air, and you can be rapidly pulled up to heights where there's not enough air to stay conscious and maybe live. So people will get sucked up there, drop unconscious, and wake up covered in icicles once they've descended after who knows how long.
Or people just die.
Or people just go hypoxic. 10 minutes without enough O2, and they go to come down anyway.
Now you're cow-brained.
On the high end of this, people hit over 30,000, close to 40,000 feet if they get cloud suck like that.
Do you carry oxygen for that circumstance?
No, it's funny. My instructor acted like this was a real problem, much like your childhood cartoons acted like quicksand was going to get you.
Or shark attack to a pool swimmer. It seems to be a hyper rare event.
Yeah, I've never. I mean, I got lift. You intentionally seek out lift oftentimes,
right?
But also, I don't mean to pump my tires, but I'm a pretty good acrobatic pilot, and I can lose altitude better than most if I had to.
Woody can do all sorts of backflips and corkscrews and nonsense. So like when you start out, they give you this big fluffy chute to like put on your paramotor, and it's so safe and hard to crash that you probably don't even need any training. I bet I could paramotor like super good, like way better than you'd think if I started. And but then but that wasn't good enough for Woody. So as he got better, he's gone to more aggressive wings that he's flying that allow him to like partially collapse them in some situations and do all sorts of really wacky acrobatics up there, flips and loop-de-loops, like end over ends and all sorts of crazy shit.
Wow.
Yeah.
He's done. He did this thing where you're just going there to practice your backup parachute, I guess. So they just dropped out of the air and threw backup chutes right into a lake.
I've done that. I've done that lots of time. I've had what they call combat throws, which is like an actual you're going to die.
Do you ever put any like smoke shit on your feet? Because that's what I want to see. I want to see you up there doing that corkscrew thing, that end over end or whatever, with like a blue smoke grenade going off on your foot, so I can see the loops.
People do that. I've got some really tightly defined like safety theories on how to do this and not die. And, one of them is I have like minimum altitudes depending on how good I am at the move. If I'm learning a new move, I do it at the top. I want to be 3,000 feet or something. And if it's something I really have mastered, I'll do it all the way down to, 600 or something like that. But another one is I only do shit for me. Like, I'm not out here trying to impress other people. These are things that I find interesting, and I only do this for me. So if there's a crowd watching, I'm probably less likely to do it. Things like
what those Arab babes think.
Right. Things like putting smoke on my ankle are like the antithesis of my personal philosophy. I do this when nobody's looking.
What about water balloons? Have you ever been tempted to bring a couple of those up there?
You know what? I'm tempted. There are people in the community who carry toys on little parachutes. Maybe you've seen that, like little green army men and stuff. And if kids come out to watch you, or maybe you're by a place where there's often a small crowd that'll take an interest in you, they throw toys to people.
It's a bird. It's a plane. No, it's litter man. There's garbage all over the city.
But I've also seen I saw a video of a guy, wasn't there in person, but he plowed into a crowd because his plan was to fly low and throw candy to people. And he plowed
in a parking lot.
Yeah, it was.
Amongst the cars. I think he kicks a woman or something. It's hilarious.
Yeah, so that
giant everlasting gobstoppers.
So I don't do anything for crowd appeal. Even at the fly-ins where there are other pilots who would appreciate this kind of stuff, I go off by myself, enjoy it, and come back. I don't do it for other people.
But are you saying you're in the top 10?
I'm a little rusty now. Yeah. But look, if you want to be at the top of your field, choose a small field. That's
I totally agree with that. I mean, there were probably less than 10 meaningful cannonball attempts in the decade prior to me setting the record. So it was like winning at a game nobody was playing. So I get that a lot. But that's pretty awesome. How large do you think the community is?
But let's make it active. I bet between 6,000 and 8,000 people fly a paramotor this year.
Okay.
Something like that.
That's actually more than I would have guessed.
That's a lot more than they'll drive from New York to LA.
He's counting Palestinians.
They've
got a whole squad of guys over there. Now, you want to see some tricks?
That's going to be a funny.
They come in.
That's going to be a funny Google search result in 5 years where it shows paramotor low, really high, back to low.
Yeah, it's funny. Paramotor versus paragliding. So paragliding is when you jump off a mountain and you search for rising columns of air and you go as far as you can. Almost every time you do it, you miss your objective. You don't go. You're trying to set a personal best. You have these hopes for the day, and really what you do is you fly until you land, almost certainly prematurely, and then by hook or crook make your way back to wherever it is you're trying to go. I've ridden in the back of Mexican landscaping trucks and shit like that. So paragliding is a sport of failure where you never quite get what you hoped you would get. Paramotoring is a sport of success. Pretty much every flight. It'd be catastrophic for me not to land exactly where I am. Most of the time I land, there's a bag I put my wing on. It's you could hug it. I land on that. It's an objective of mine to make sure I nail my spot landing. It is so perfect. I bet if I had to land in a pair of flip-flops, I could do it half the time, right? So it is a sport of success, and that gets dull. When every flight is exactly what you were hoping for, it's almost like a commute. Whereas the sport that denies you that brass ring
with the paramotor every now and then, he never knows quite how much fuel he has.
People stay into paragliding as an interest far longer than paramotoring, and I think it's because they don't get what they want. And you'd think that'd be worse, but it turns out not to be.
I saw a Russian guy jump off a building yesterday with a homemade parachute.
How'd that go?
Exactly how you think it went.
I don't think it went too well.
Well, what did the homemade parachute look like? Like cardboard?
Was it a circle with a hole in the middle? I hope
it was the size of a trash bag. He had it in one hand.
Oh, you watched someone kill himself?
Yeah,
and kind of have a fun time with.
No, dude, he had his friends with him, and he was like, "Record this." I think it was in Russia, but I think he was a Brit because he had. Yeah. That's it. and there's people recording on the ground too, and they're like, splat, like it didn't just not open. It those old black and white early aircraft attempts. There's the one that's a parachute that bounces up and down, and there's one that looks like a Da Vinci contraption. Those worked way better than what this guy had because he just fell. He just fell off a 14-story building and died. It was rough.